Hi everybody, it's Jeff with Magnitude 10 Comics coming at you again from the home office in Ashland, Missouri. It's another installment of recent comic book reads, trying to kind of share what I've been reading in hopes that those of you out there who also like to read comic books will comment and share things that you're finding interesting as you enjoy comic books. So this past week, I'm going to kind of go in reverse order. I have some newsstand arrivals that I'm still catching up on. I read Challengers of the Unknown. This is issue number 1. Now this was a series that had a really long run, going back, I believe it started in the 50s even, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really familiar with it. It only recently came on my radar, and then DC decided to start this series again. It ties into Justice League of America and the main universe. I enjoyed it. I hesitate to recommend it. If you are into Justice League and the whole cast of characters and the storyline, then I think it's definitely a very good story to add in. But it's the kind of thing that would probably be more of a specialty interest. It's I would say a young at heart kind of read, not a lot of let's put it this way, not a lot of disturbing or graphic, gratuitous stuff in it. So that's nice too. And a whole nother team, the Challengers of the Unknown are not super powered individuals, but they work up at the Justice League of America's space station. And yeah, all in all, it fits in and builds the universe and cast of characters and storylines that are emerging, and this is issue number 1. I'll continue to check it out for a while and see how it goes. As my interests vary, I'm not sure if I'll continue reading it or not, but it was definitely, I'm glad I read it. So just a spoiler alert, if these are things that you're planning to read and haven't yet read, you might want to skip over or come back after you've read and see what you think. Share your impressions, what you liked. We want to hear from you, and make your suggestions too, as far as if there's something that you're enjoying that I'm not covering in these videos. Another first issue that came out here at the end of last year was the New Gods, issue number 1. Now, I mentioned in an earlier video, I've been trying to familiarize myself with this whole cast of characters and universe. This was something created by Jack Kirby in the 70s. Darkseid and Apocalypse, Orion, the High Father, Mr. Miracle. So a lot of these characters I was not that familiar with. This was a pretty difficult read for me. I had to try twice. I did make it through it this time, and I'm glad I did. I've been reading some other, a couple other books. I read an older volume of Miracle Man, and that's sort of starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together for me to understand this storyline. That's part of the nice thing about comics. You can definitely jump in. You can definitely read. You don't have to start with issue number 1. You can pick up back issues. You can fill in. If something feels good, you're enjoying it, go for it. And the rest of the story will fill in the gaps, so to speak. I definitely recommend that style of reading with comic books. I know it's tempting to, or it feels weird not to read in sequential order, but comic books are really made to be read. Just pick up and dive in, and you'll get there. You'll fill in the gaps. You might find yourself going backwards and forwards, rereading. But yeah, this one, I'm going to see where it goes. I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. It set up a lot of, they set up a lot of plot hooks for what's going to happen in the next issue. So it'll be a while before we really see what's happening with this. So that was the New Gods by DC issue number 1, came out at the end of 2024. Okay, finally got through a pair of Creep Show issues. One was a holiday issue, holiday special. These are put out by Image and Skybound. If you're into this thing, yes, it definitely fits the bill. I enjoyed this issue. I thought the stories in there were a little more creepy, a little, they all have allegories, kind of like the Grimm brothers fairy tales. There's a moral to the story or something going on, and they're pretty fun reads and definitely have a creepy twist. This one, the holiday special, I didn't enjoy as much and wouldn't necessarily recommend. And this is the kind of thing that you might want to pick up in a larger volume. But if you want to try it out, definitely pick a copy of Creepshow up if you're feeling in the mood. These went back to Halloween. I think they were late in arriving, and I just finally got around to reading them. Moving on, this was the last new publication. This was issue 5 of DC versus Vampires World War V, issue 5. I was lost. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't feel like I got much out of this for the money. I didn't even really care for the artwork that much. But if this is your cup of tea, definitely. Of course, I love the cover. Wonderful cover. And there was some redeeming value, but I definitely, personally, I would not read this, especially in serial form. I do have, I believe, a copy of the original DC versus Vampires, and I do intend and look forward to reading that, but I will not be personally continuing with this. Let me please share your thoughts and comment and share your thoughts so that if you have some different opinions or so forth, that's what this series of videos is all about. Now, moving on. I did read 3 back issues since last time, and I'm going to do a focus video on this, but finally got around to reading an issue of Blackhawk, and this was just a random, hey, I'm in the mood to read something different, and I picked this out one night. I definitely enjoyed it. It is suggested for an older audience. I think there's some swear words and some adult content. It's hard to sometimes know because I'm 53 years old, so I don't always know exactly where the line is or pay attention anymore. But it definitely is not for children. And I also, as a veteran, I enjoy the war theme. I was Army, not Air Force, but kind of interested to learn more about Blackhawk. I'd always seen it around, had never really picked it up or read it. So this was a fun read for me, and I definitely recommend anytime you see this. They're very affordable oftentimes in your stores or at shows. You can usually pick this title up very inexpensively, in the dollar bin even. So Blackhawk, and there's been many iterations going back from the Golden Age, I believe. So, this series was in March of 1990. This was issue 12. So there again, that's an example of I held in there and I made it through in the first read. So I definitely, jumped in and enjoyed it. Okay, moving on. I've read, and I will just mention, if you're a collector of back issues, I do have the original Volume 1, Howard the Duck. He appeared in, I believe, like Fear, along with Man Thing, and then had his own title back in the 70s. You can find those on the Magnitude 10 Comics website. But this is a later volume, or actually in this case, this was a 4-issue limited series. So this was issue 1 of 4. Now I want to find the other 3. That's how it goes. But having read Howard the Duck and being familiar with the character, this was definitely a pretty easy read. And the artwork, I enjoyed the artwork, and the storyline was a little bit updated from the 70s. And so a nice book to read, and I would definitely recommend Howard the Duck. Anytime you see that, pick that up. Some fun, humorous, but also some underlying ethics and moral threads about modern life and just the contrast. He's a lot of his subtitle is stuck in a world he didn't create, and he's a duck, a talking duck. So always fun to read Howard the Duck. And then last, this is the book that I'm going to do a separate video and go a little bit more in depth. This was kind of a complete surprise. What happens when you're a comic book reader, right? You know, you just start looking at something. This was something that I think I pulled out of a dollar bin. You know, I'm not sure, didn't remember, but came across it. And I was like, wow, you know, it just piqued my curiosity. I wanted to read this. So I picked it up, and boy, I got hooked and read it straight through, really enjoyed it. Of course, I was a teenager in the 1980s. I was born in 71, so 70s, 80s, but definitely the 80s had some, and this was from 86. So this was Comet Man issue 1. It turned out that this ran for 6 issues, and then he was sporadically appeared in the Marvel Universe a little bit here and there, but it kind of failed to launch, so to speak. So anyway, I do want to go into a little bit more in depth in a separate video, just to kind of share what I found in Comet Man #1. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Purpose of this video and this series is for sure for you all to comment and kind of build a readers group to let each other know what's out there, what we're enjoying, what we're reading, how's it going, what we like, what we don't like. So please do subscribe and like. That helps the algorithm to spread on the YouTube community. And I do appreciate you taking the time to do that and come along for the ride. And if some of you have similar material out there, I'll do my best to pick up on that and cross-link or share however that's possible with YouTube. So this has been Jeff. This is Jeff with Magnitude 10 Comics. And this has been another edition of Good Comic Book Reads. We'll see you next time. Take care.